Hello there, Terrans, and this is Branthar. We are here on the Avenue of Tomorrow in perpetually sunny Metropolis here on YouTube, and we are back with Detective Inspector renamed 9911. When we left her last week, she was in her other base. She was in Metropolis Detective Inspector Vamptective. Today we're going to see her other base, which is here on the Avenue of Tomorrow, way downtown. And we're going to see a bit of a transformation. Heroshimale has an interesting story. Let's just get her name out of the way and get her into quantum form. This is her quantum form. This is when she turns into Heroshimale. The interesting thing about Heroshimale is that there were two space chimps that were created by Mxys going by the clever names of Nothing and Snitches. Well, they had weaseled their way through a fifth dimension rift and invaded Daybreak's servers. Using two eyes but only one brain, they attempted to change Heroshimale's identity. I know, what a shame. Heroshimale alerted the Daybreak staff after she used Oblivion to send Tweedledee and Tweedledummy back to the fifth dimension. She is now running incognito as Detective Inspector renamed 9911 until further notice. Tweedledee and Tweedledummy return on occasion, but only in worse forms of themselves. And that is the heroic story of Heroshimale. And now that we have that cheer, we're going to go inside and see her base. Now, you'll notice that it's going to be quite a bit different on the inside than the outside. We're going to get into that. And here we are inside Heroshimale's base. And this is the Worldforge. The reason why it looks so different is because Heroshimale is actually not human. She is a quantum form being who actually came through this tunnel from this other world in time and space and ended up on a meteorite. After she was ejected out of the tunnel, the energy ended up on a meteorite, ended up landing on the planet, and this is what has transpired. This is plasma. Here. This is not lava, this is plasma. And as you can look around, there is a Gothic sanctuary here. There's lots of interesting Coloan items. We're going to get this out of the way to begin with. This is an original base that I decided to showcase without adding any items to it. So this is a base that has 500 items and no more. I used them the best way that I could possible. And also, all of these items were the first items to come out for the anniversary anti-monitor event for that particular year. I think it was 2018, 2019, something like that. So if you'll notice, it's a little Spartan and a little sparse, but there's quite a bit going on for 500 items. This is the first base that I myself as Branthar began really experimenting using different types of items in different ways. I began to discover the things that fog could do on lava, that fog could do on grass, the things that fog could do on deep grass, the things that rain could do with lava and snow. If you notice, these are both snow clouds at the same time that we have rain on the ground. And we have lava over here as well. And fog. These particular items are really, really great. If you tend to put a number of them together, they tend to pulsate. And all of this stuff drops. There we go. It's pulsating. It's tuning. It's pulsating. That was very Richard O'Brien. I can't even remember the name of the movie. It's very funny. Anyway, these Coloan pillars look really great. They tend to make very good tunneling effects with things, if you notice here. They do quite a good job tunneling. Here are a number of other Coloan items. that are put together in different ways. You make a new item by taking old items and changing them. There's a window to Thanagar. If you notice in a base of 500 items, you have places where you're really only going to be able to put a couple of items if you're really going to make the base the most that you can possibly make it. This is the origin of the dripping lava grates. This is the first time I used them where I noticed that they would work inside a window or inside other spaces, and you see me using them all the time now. An amusing story about these grates is when they came out, someone decided to price the large ones the same price as the small ones. I have absolutely no idea why. So for a large one, it cost 10 of the Cordian crowns. And for the small ones, it costs 10. So 3 on either side, that's 30. 3 on the other side, that's 60. And 1 is 70. So I ended up spending 210 coins on this single effect. I think it's worth it. But I have no idea why those things were priced that way. And it was upsetting at the time because I was running any number of tunes trying to get the items. Here is the control center using antimatter rocks. And this area over here is what made me fall in love with attempting to take something and use it in a way that gave value to the item. I completely flipped out when I put this lava, this large lava spout here, and this broken wall pillar. Just an absolutely fantastic effect. And then over here we have some more exobyte items. If you notice with the large lava spouts, they can go in any number of places where they work on a dual level. And we're going to go up here and see where that lava spout down there works up here with actually a second lava grate. And don't mind the secret alien man who's observing us from another world. If you look over here, this is the beginnings of base design, and if you notice, this makes no sense. It's not very interesting. It's clutter, and I could have designed something a lot better using other items in this area. I wanted to leave this area to show you, sure, you can load up an area with a bunch of duplicate items, but it's not really going to look that great unless you make some sense of it yourself. Alright, let's go downstairs. And if you look up, there's lots of ice. There we go. It's tuning again. It's tuning. It's tuning. Shall we wait for this one? So if you notice, you can put grass, you can put lava together, you can put rain and snow together in lots of really different interesting ways. Well, this is really going to make me wait for it, isn't it? There we go. It's tuning! Alright, let's go downstairs. These breakthrough windows is when they were first being introduced, so I used them here. And down at the bottom I had this fantastic plan to make, a Borg ship down at the bottom. And if you notice, I finally waited to buy that patch of fog because I wasn't going to spend $3 million on it. And if you notice, it caused a decent effect. But now, if I was to do this again, I would use that brown ground material from Spring. This right here is one of my favorite effects that I've ever used in a base, and it is the lava grate going through the cherry trees. It just looks like flowing plasma tears. One of my favorite effects ever. That just looks absolutely gorgeous. And here we arrive at the Worldforge. This is where the first Heroshimale was created. This is her right here. She basically mimicked a Metropolis citizen. So that's what she looks like to everybody else. And then over here is she has split herself into the quantum realm for her trolling. If you notice, she has got the nebula aura on because she draws power from nebula in order to give people power. She draws energy from the nebula in her local cluster. And then over here is her final form. And here she looks a little naked, but actually this is her astral body. And this is her final form. And this is Oblivion. She has got the cosmic aura on. She is drawing energy from the entire cosmos, which is expelled through her chest in the form of Oblivion. So actually in this form, she no longer has any skin at all. This is just her astral body. And if you notice here, here's another section of the Worldforge where all of the action happens. There's the cooling button, the cooling bucket. I've noticed you can also use these snow piles on sand and other things, and they actually create a different type of rock environment rather than snow. If you notice here, with the bucket, they quite look like snow. But if you turn the corner with the column thing, it looks like quite something else. And we have a little bit of corruption here on this container. And here's the end of our journey, and there's always a little bit of a joke somewhere. And all of my bases are some joke somewhere. And right here, this was also one of the first effects that I did in the Worldforge. And I absolutely fell in love with it. All of the windows in DCUO are absolutely fantastic, and you can use them in so many different ways. So that is our tour of the Worldforge. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the story about Heroshimale's origins and harrowing battle against the Space Chimps. Anyway, enjoy your eternity in your multiverse, and I will see you guys next time with a brand new base. See you later.